Okay.
All right, so this is what happened. I was sitting right here, and it was around lunchtime. It was probably a few weeks ago now, right? Or about a week ago.
It was on the 5th, yeah.
Well, it was about lunchtime, and I went over to Walgreens to get something to eat and something to drink. And when I came back, I've seen that guy before a few days. He was hanging out with a few guys here or around in the park and stuff. Well, he asked me something about his telephone. He needed a charger or something. Well, I guess he found one. And he was hanging out with a few guys, and they were sitting right there. And he laid down, and they were sitting over there. He laid down right there, right where you're standing, nearly, right behind you.
Yeah.
I thought he fell asleep. It seems strange to me, but I've seen stranger things than that, you know what I'm saying? Well, his friends or his buddies, the guys that he was hanging out with, were sitting right there in those chairs. Well, they're rocks, but they kind of look like chairs, though. They were sitting right there.
Oh.
And I was just sitting here listening to music. And it was about an hour, maybe 2 hours went by. And I got up to get something to drink. And I looked at him, and he didn't look right. So I jumped down and checked him. I kind of kicked his feet a few times, see if there was any movement in his body, because he didn't look right at all. So I jumped down and I checked his feet, see if there was any movement in his body, and there wasn't. And there was an officer parked right there. So I sprinted over there and got the officer, and then the police came, and then the paramedics came, and they did their thing, and they taped the area off. And I sat there for a few hours because I kind of figured they needed an eyewitness report and stuff like that.
Yeah, we actually have your number.
Well, that's who you're talking to then. So I sat right there. So I sat right there, and they asked me what happened. That's exactly what happened. He was hanging out with a few guys. He asked me something about his telephone. He needed a charger or something. And I guess he found one. But he laid down right there, and I thought he fell asleep because the day before, or a couple days before that,
he does that, you know.
He told me that he drinks a lot, so I thought maybe that he was drunk or something. I've seen stranger things than that, though. You know what I'm saying? So he laid down, and I was just listening to music. It was about an hour or 2 hours. I got up to get something to drink, and I looked at him, and he didn't look right. So I checked him. I kicked his feet a few times, and he wasn't moving, you know what I'm saying? So and there was an officer parked right there. So I ran over, got him. The police came.
Thank you, by the way.
And the paramedics came. Well, I heard you guys talking. I wanted to know if
we were gonna approach you. So.
If you were mourning him, I figured you want to know what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm the one that found him, and I'm the one that got the police. You know what I'm saying? But he was hanging out with a few guys. They were sitting there, and he laid down. I just thought he went to sleep, you know what I'm saying?
That sounds peaceful.
Now Ken said somebody grabbed his hand and he squoze onto his hand. That's Ken.
No, when he usually stay right there. He usually stay right there. So I'm sitting right there, and my friend started to do graffiti. He take up his colors and he started to go over the graffitis. And they started to talk because they know each other, I think.
Yeah.
And the other guy is a white guy too. So they know each other and they're talking and they're sharing the graffiti, whatever it is they're doing on the wall. And so they walk up there and they talk for a little while. And I sit right there looking at with my telephone. And when they came down, they walked down. They walk down. And my friend is standing right there and they talk. And then your son just grabbed his hand. You both hands, just grab his hand and hold it tight. I was sitting right there, I watched it. And he's laying there and minding his own business, so he didn't see that. And he hold his hand real tight. And my friend didn't know what to do. And he kind of spinned around like this. As he spinned around, he slide down. So I says, check his pulse. Check his pulse. He says, pulse is good. I said, put your hand by his nose. He says his nose is okay. So I figure, like, maybe he says he might have been drunk. I don't know why he fell over. But he grabbed his hand very tight. And so I says, hey, check his pulse, man. He checks his pulse. He says he has a good pulse. I said, put your hand by his nose. So he's breathing.
The only reason I said that about drinking, because the day before, or a couple days before, he told me, he started talking to me, and he said that he drinks a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not from around here, so that's why.
So I thought he just fell asleep. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
never seen him around here before.
He was in Key West the week before that.
Oh, okay, because I never seen him before. He just showed up
Right.
2 days and I just seen him. And then this unfortunate thing happened. I'm terribly sorry, so my condolences.
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry for what happened.
Thank you for,
Yeah.
I appreciate
If-
that.
if I
I'm
was-
glad you were here. I'm glad you both were here
If-
because,
if I,
Well, I
know,
heard
this-
you guys talking about it, and I figured if you guys were mourning, that guy, that you want to know what happened. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, it's
that's
the
why
first-
I mentioned something.
the first thing we wanted to do is come down here and find you guys, and because we heard that you helped him out, and we heard that he was with. We heard that he was with friends, but Andrew was from New Orleans to Key West to San Diego, and
Moves around.
yeah, he's very friendly, so he makes friends quickly,
Well, the other guy, the other white guy, actually, I thought they were good friends because he says, I know him,
He did know one other person here in Miami, and I think his brother probably knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, so, and he says, I know this guy, So, this guy, he all over the place too. He goes to Key West, he goes all over the place. I don't know how long he knows this guy, which is your son. But I tell you, I sit right there and I watch everything, and he says he was all right, and I get up and I left, and I left the other guy, I don't know where he went, and he says now that when he got up, that he had found him there a couple hours later, so that means all the time he was laying there, he probably just died from a heart attack. The minute
Yeah,
it
like I
happened.
said, he asked me something about his telephone, and the other guys were sitting right there, and he laid